In the 90s, home videos and the N64 were probably the big things, besides going outside, which you don't see often. Usually home videos are full of memories and moments to share with the family, but sometimes that's not always the case. 4 years ago, a user by the name of Simon Pred uploaded a clip titled "Grave Robbing for Morons." In the video, a teenage boy with a speech impediment claims to have robbed a grave, showing the camera a realistic-looking skull throughout the footage.
Okay, peel it back, alright, and it'll pull off, it'll make a disgusting sound. So let's say it's someone important, right? Alright, so you take a sample of the say that mustache, right? Okay, so you to make sure that it's authentic, or you take the dentures and you make sure they're with them, so that way the person knows who this person is. Alright, because sometimes you go and you risk your ass looking for somebody, alright, and somebody might be paying some serious money for it. So you have to make sure it's the real thing, okay? And you have to make sure it's the real thing. So you have to bring some kind of proof that it's the real thing. So you bring.
The creator displays his inexperience throughout the half-hour film, admitting that this was only his second time he had been grave robbing, and provides the viewer with ridiculous tips, like knocking out any witnesses, so when they wake up they think it was a dream. At the end, he identifies himself as Anthony and his cameraman as Gino, and also credits two others not in the film named Pucci and Taco before signing off with the promise to rob Houdini's grave on Reddit. One user commented that the clip had come from a shockumentary titled "Ensuring Your Place in Hell." There's a story of someone purchasing the shockumentary. The link the user had provided to purchase the video was no longer active, but I was able to locate the film on an eBay-style auction website called iOffer. After placing my order with the seller, I noticed the payment went to a company called Serial Killer Calendar. I had been familiar with this site for some time, and had even interviewed one of the owners for a previous article I had written for Sword and Scale. I reached out to Chris Saunders to see what information he might have on the video, or more specifically, the clip in question. Chris was quick to respond and said that he didn't know anything about the video, referring me instead to James Gilks, his business partner, who sold these DVDs on the side. Taking Chris' advice, I then reached out to Gilks, explaining who I was and why I was interested in the DVD. Unfortunately, he had little information on the film himself, except for what had been written on the cover. 2 weeks after I had exchanged emails with the guys from Serial Killer Calendar, my DVD had arrived. It was for sure some sort of strange bootleg that had been traded around the internet in the days before YouTube had taken off. It listed 4 half-hour clips that not only included Grave Robbing for Morons, but also Cooking with Huck Botko, Mortuary of the Dead, and Exploding Varmints. This is what the back of the DVD says. Contains a collection of shorts that are all so fucked up, they will ensure your place in hell just for owning them. First up is Grave Robbing for Morons, featuring a drunken teen teaching you everything he knows about grave robbing while showing you his collection of stolen skulls and body parts. The best part about this short is that the kid stutters throughout the entire lesson. Next up is Cooking with Huck Botko, which is quite possibly the most fucked up home video ever made. Basically, this dude who hates his family finds different ways to poison them, including having homeless people spit on a cake mix, and failed attempt at trying to give a stuck-up girl an STO, which results in urine in her shampoo. You get to see everything from the preparing the food to his family happily, unknowingly eating it. After that is Mortuary of the Dead, which is 3 dudes who break into some fucked up mortuary with a video camera and record footage of severed heads in buckets, dead babies in jars, and rotting corpses on the slab. Finally, finishing up the disc is Exploding Varmints, which is a home video of self-proclaimed varmint hunters, teaching you how to hunt down and blow up small animals for fun and profit. This is the ultimate cult DVD. You need to own this. This film is a bit disturbing. It's called Cooking with Hut Batco.
I don't like my father, but this year I'm gonna have fun. Now it's time to go outside.
Father, my father is traveling around the world.
You spit in this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you, this is what I got. I got like almost $3. You gotta say Merry Christmas, Kurt.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Kurt.
Merry Christmas, Kurt.
Any more in there?
Merry Christmas.
No, I got one coming up.
Thanks.
That's $3.
I'll give you $3.
That's
And
$3.
Merry Christmas.
I'm dry, I'm dry.
Merry Christmas, Kurt.
Where's my $3?
You got it.
I'm taking the camera, the pipe, your coat, your hat, and her coat.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. What? We gotta hurry. I have other people waiting. What's his name?
His name's Kurt.
Kurt, you're a no good son of a gun, and this is for you for your Christmas day. Enjoy it. We heard an awful lot about you up in the North Pole, and shame, shame, shame. Everyone knows your name, you son of a gun, you. 2.
All right.
We love him, we don't like you, Kurt. Okay?
My plane leaves December 24th at 11:30 a.m. for Minneapolis.
Guys kept catching,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Robert. Hope it works.
Hope it works.
Your camera. You like caviar, Robert?
No. What did you get for father?
What did I get him?
Yeah,
Well, can't you just wait and see?
I made a fruitcake.
You did not. You're a fruitcake. Cool card.
Yeah.
And it says from Rob and everything?
My God, it's heavy. Look at, feel it.
No, I don't think I need. Oh my. Well, Rob, what did you make for Dad? Wait, it's like a top on
Well,
it.
it's like a
Open it
fruitcake.
up.
Did you make it?
Uh-huh.
Was it fruitcake?
Uh-huh.
Oh, good for you.
Dad, can we get something?
Oh, aromatic? It's actually spectacular, and you have to soak though. Did you soak it?
Uh-huh.
Oh my God!
Look at that, huh? Thank you.
There.
It's very colorful, I must say.
I just grabbed a bunch. Or use your spoon.
Dates and nuts and candied fruits. What else is in there?
Might be the best fruitcake. Well, I don't know. I know fruitcake, so wait for.
Actually, it really isn't that bad.
It's wonderful. Simply savory.
Very kind.
Surely it is. Yes, it's very good, Robert.
I'm sure it was a
Yeah,
hamburger.
it's so
It's
good.
a little nauseous, but I'm sure it was from maybe from the hamburger that I cooked.
Not from the fruitcake.
No, not the fruitcake. Fruitcake is good for you.
Huck Batco, from Cooking with Huck Batco, also turned out to be a real film director. He has a history of making strange films, and had even directed several mainstream horror films, including The Last Exorcism. I had hoped that the other clips would be able to give me an idea of at least when the video was filmed and if these clips were all connected. I was able to trace the last clip, Exploding Varmints, to a website owned by a company called Varmint Video Advanced Action Videos. They specialized in instructional hunting videos, and Exploding Varmints was a tongue-in-cheek pest control instructional video. The site closed in 2015, but there's still footage on YouTube. This contains graphic content, so please be advised.
Action Videos proudly presents Exploding Varmints. Welcome to the first in a series of entertaining and educational videos.
Yes.
Folks, this one's really close, and I apologize for missing, but I won't miss this one.
Oh, I did.
Put her down on your shooting bench. Put the dot on them, and say goodbye.
You like doing that,
I
don't you?
love doing this, man. This is excellent.
So far, 2 of the films included in the compilation turned out to be fake films, created by independent filmmakers. Did that mean grave robbing for morons could be some kids dipping their toes into the world of horror effects? Was this movie made for the internet and not quite as old as the filmmakers would lead us to believe? Through my searches, I came across posts on several message boards about the clip, and many were quick to point out that Anthony was addressing the camera as it was like a vlog made for YouTube. People have been making video diaries long before social media existed. It's possible that this could have been an old video that was traded among friends and then later posted to the internet, as many early viral videos had been. If there was the possibility that at least one of these found footage clips were real, then that still left the possibility that our friend Anthony really had robbed an old grave at some point. With nothing left to go on except for clues provided in the film, I began looking for mentions of an Anthony busted for robbing graves. This led me to the name Anthony Casamassima. Anthony Casamassima was arrested for stealing priceless artifacts from graves for nearly 15 years. In the clip Grave Robbing for Morons, a clip of young Anthony Casamassima early in his career? Not quite. Casamassima was known for stealing priceless artifacts, not bodies, and had been in his 40s at the time of his arrest. Much too old to be the boy we see in this video, who is estimated to have been in his late teens or probably early 20s. There are even several sites of professionals who try to track down videos like these. One of the theories maybe could be true. Okay, internet hate machine, let's track this guy down once and for all. The site researching this grave robbing for morons guy reckons they have found him when I asked for information. I call bullshit. Also, what do you think of his tactics? Only thing I heard accent-wise was when the cameraman says off. Has that New York-Boston sound to it. I'd say the stuttering fuck is of Latino, of maybe even Native American descent. Apparently this guy has been dead for 20 years. He goes by the name of Screws, and he's from Red Hook and he sells the bones. The guy with the grave robberies from Red Hook goes by the name of Screws. He's been dead damn near 20 years now. He used to sell bones to some of the Hoognans over in Sheepshed Bay. I'm surprised that no one knew that. Common knowledge by me. It's common knowledge around me. I'm from Ozone Park, originally. It was the local scuttlebutt back in the early 90s, when I was a teenager. He ran a chop shop too, back in the day. Bootleg movies, knockoff clothes, you name it. That's how he got the nickname Screws. He used to screw everyone over. From what I heard, they found him over in Whitestone in a dumpster by the bridge, with his knees parallel with his ears. He'd been bent backwards in the wrong direction. His head was resting against his ass. I'm afraid we are. If the video happened a few years later, we could have cracked it. Next, we have the clue of Houdini's grave. As it was turned out, other people who have been looking into the mystery of grave robbing for morons discovered that Houdini's grave was never known to have been robbed, though did admit that it had been abandoned for years until it went a huge restoration project in 2014.
To make a lot of noise, alright, so the person's on one side. You count out how much noise there is. You can do that on each side around, right? And that's be roads nearby. See how far that noise will reach. If it's windy, the noise will carry, right? The noise will go far, okay? It will go much more farther if it's windy. Okay, if it's raining, the rain will help you a lot. If it's snowy, the snow will leave footprints. If it's summertime and there's no rain, then that's, I think, the perfect time, except for one thing, the guards might be a bit active at that time. So what you do it is in around July when it's a little cold, you wear some nice warm gloves. The guards won't be as active and everything's going to be cold, exactly like you are. So that way they're not going to be active. So
After investigating these leads, my search still came up empty. Where had this clip come from? What was the purpose? And was it real? These nagging questions continued to burn within me. Hours of searching later, I was able to come across another clue on where this video may have come from. A VHS copy with only "Grave Robbing for Morons" on it, credited to be an independent film company called themselves King of the Witches. Searching further into the company, I discovered that one of the owners of the King of the Witches is named Christopher Pucci. Could this be the same Pucci mentioned on the tape by Anthony? I reached out to Mr. Pucci in order to gain some more insight into the clip, but neither my email through his storefront nor a quick Facebook message gained a response. Was this what the internet had been in a frenzy over all this time? Young filmmakers creating the backbone of what would later blossom into an independent film company. It almost makes too much sense.
Friend digs, and then it's another friend digs. You have to find someplace really secluded, so that way there's no interruptions. Okay, so you each take turns. First one digs, then the other digs, and the other digs. All right, you keep going in a circle. All right, the rest of the three have to be lookouts, because if it's outside, you're out in open ground.
Unfortunately, we still don't know who Anthony is, or if the bones he collected were real or just props. Could it be Anthony Casamasmia, arrested in 1999? Could it be Screws, who was found dead in a dumpster in the 90s? Could it be Mr. Pucci, owner of Kings of the Witches? Or is it neither of these? I guess there are some mysteries that don't want to be solved.
I think we made this trend from now on. This is a trend. We will keep doing it for the fun. And soon, and our next big hit is Houdini. If you're watching this video, then you'll know who it was. Bye-bye.